Look guys, I know how hard it is to play with random players because I play with random players most of the time, and sometimes the random players that we get, they are not that good, right? Sometimes when we are rushing, they don't rush with us, they just go in their own directions and they get knocked down. And even when we get knocked down, sometimes they don't even revive us. But don't worry, in this video, I'm gonna tell you guys 6 of the best tips and tricks that you guys can use to quickly push your rank when playing with random players. So first of all, let's start with tip number 1. Now guys, the first tip that I want to give you guys is to use the random players as bait. Now what I mean by this is, first of all, let the random players go and rush and attack the enemy first, and while the random players are attacking the enemies, while they're busy attacking each other, what you need to do is you need to attack from the back. But if you just go alone and rush and attack the enemy and you just get eliminated, that whole round might depend on the performance of the random players in your team. So if they just keep on playing bad, you might just keep on losing one round after the other, and eventually you might just lose the match. So as I said earlier, let the random players go and rush and attack the enemy first, and while they are busy with the enemies, try to attack from the back. Now the second tip that I want to give you guys is to open the mic and talk and see whether if anyone talks to you, because it's just better to have at least one person to talk and play together with you in the game than just having no one. Because if every one of your teammates in your team just go in different directions, they might just get eliminated very easily. So it's just better to have at least one person to just talk with you and play with you in the game. So just open the mic and see whether if anyone talks. But if no one talks to you, just keep on talking, because there might be people that are shy. So you could just say that you're going in this direction. So there might even be players that might just follow you in that direction and just help you while you're playing. But even if they don't support you, or even if they don't talk with you, just keep on talking, because sometimes you might even be able to save your teammate. If there's an enemy in the back, if he's number 1 or number 2, you could just say the teammate's number and then just let them know that there's an enemy in the back. So guys, now let's move on to tip number 3. Now sometimes when you get a random team, there might be a really good player that plays very well in your team. So if there's a really good player that plays very well in your team, try to go and play with that player. Try to rush together with that player, because you two together might have a better chance of winning the match than you guys just getting separated. Because if you guys just get separated and if you guys just go in your own directions, if the enemy team is very powerful, if the enemy team rushes together, they might knock down your teammates one by one. So if there's a really good player on your team, on your random team, try to rush together with that player. And another thing that I want to tell you guys is that there might also be a really good player on the enemy's team as well. So if this player just keeps on knocking down your players one by one, try to first of all identify who this player is, and afterwards, first of all, target this player and take him down. You could also say to your random players that there's this one player that plays very well on the enemy's team. First of all, let's go and take him down. And if you guys take down the best player on the enemy's team, it might become a lot easier for you and also your teammates to win that round. So if you keep on doing this in the next few rounds, you might be able to easily win that match. So as I said earlier, if there's a really good player on your team, try to rush together with that player, and if there's a really good player on the enemy's team, try to first of all take down that player. Now guys, the fourth tip that I want to give you guys is to try to make friends with random players. Throughout the matches that you play, CS rank or even BR rank, you might meet players that play very well, players that talk with you or even support you in the match. So if there are such players, try to send them a friend request and add them into your list of friends. And even on the enemy's team, there might be players that play really well, so you could just send them a friend request. Once you have enough friends in your friend list, you can add them and play together with them. But if you make really good friends in the game, you can make your own permanent squad and play with them without having to play with random players. Now let's move on to tip number 5. Let's say that you got into a situation where you just kept on losing one round after the other. Let's say that your random players are not playing that well. For example, let's say that you lost like 3 rounds. So in such a situation, what I want to say to you guys is to not lose hope. Don't just give up. Try to do a comeback, because I have seen so many players that were able to come back from such a situation. So don't just lose hope, don't give up, try to do a comeback. And one of the best ways to come back from such a situation is to change your playing style. For example, let's say that in the last 3 rounds, you were rushing together with your random players, but still you were not able to defeat them. So instead of rushing together with the random players in the next round, try to change your playing style. Try to get on to a higher place in the map, and while the random players are busy fighting the enemies, try to use something like a long range gun or a AWM and try to knock down the enemies from that higher place. So if one strategy doesn't work, try to use a different strategy. And one of the best strategies I have seen players use is the flanking strategy. Now I have already made a video on the flanking strategy, so if you guys want to know more information about that, you guys can go check out that video after watching this video. But anyways, now let's move on to tip number 6. Now when you're going into a match with random players, first of all, try to change your mindset. Don't just go into the match thinking that the random players will help you to win the match, or if you get knocked down they will revive you. Try to go into the match thinking of it as a 1v4 match. Another thing that you guys can also do is to use a set of characters that can be very useful in 1v4 situations. And even after update, Free Fire might also add in new powerful characters into the game. For example, the Sonya character right now is a very powerful character, so try to use a good set of characters in your character combination when you guys are playing with random players. But anyways guys, I will tell you guys the character combination that I would personally use if I am pushing my rank with random players in this update. So for the active character, I'm gonna be using the Dimitri character. But if you guys don't want to use the Dimitri character, another really good character for CS rank matches is the Tatsuya character. But if you guys don't want to use the Tatsuya character, another really good character for 1v4 situations is the Wukong character. So you guys can choose any character that you guys like, but I would personally use the Dimitri character in this update. Now for the next 3 passive characters, the first passive character that I would use is the Ford character. The second passive character that I would personally use is the Dasha character. And for the third passive character, I'm gonna be using the Sonya character. The Sonya character skill and the Dimitri character skill together is a very powerful combination. So if you guys want to know how to effectively use these 2 characters together, make sure to go and check out this video. So I'll see you guys later on with another video, and until then, take it easy fam. Peace.